This is one of those wire display racks that you see at a grocery store. There was a piece of pipe here in the middle, a little small, and this thing fits on top of a rack and it would spin around. And what I did is I knocked off the little wales that held the pipe on there to give me a surface to put the pot on top of this thing. And it's already black because, like I said, I've used this a few months ago, testing it out. I laid it across the top of the can like that, and I was able to set a pot up there. And my thinking was that that would probably give me enough airspace for my pot to sit on top of without smothering the fire and to be able to cook on. But one thing about the Hobo stove that I saw in other videos was the fact that they did drill holes on sides where they can stick that wire through there to actually lower whatever cooking utensil they had closer to the fire and make it adjustable. That's something that I probably will do with this can, because this piece here will not fit down inside the can. I went ahead and cut off the other side, and I've only got 3 more to cut. Now what I intend to do is to cut off 3 more and leave one attached so it acts like a handle, so I can pick it up and put it down on top of the Hobo stove for purposes that I deem necessary at this point. The 2 prongs that I have right now are going to work almost perfectly for when I drill or cut holes into the Hobo can to set them in this type of configuration, only through the can, through the can on the inside, so that I can raise and lower to get closer to the fire for smaller vessels that will fit inside the can. I'm going to go ahead and file these other 3 off and leave one on as a handle, and that way it will be flat. Nothing there, nothing sticking out other than this end right here. And give that a try. So, here we go. All right. I've got 1 to go. And I wanted to show you what I was using is this file to cut these off with. Now, this is definitely a job for a hacksaw, but being that I'm too lazy to go get one, I'm improvising with a file. And I'm sure that a file is not designed to do what I'm doing. Or is it? I don't know. I just know that it works. And to keep from boring you on cutting all those pieces that I cut off, I decided I will show you me cutting off one with a file, just for the heck of it. Okay. Now, I'm not exactly sure if you're able to see this or not, but then again, I'm using the file to cut these legs off. And what I'm doing is I want to keep the straightest piece that I have as the handle. Make sure you can still see that. I'm sure this is very entertaining. This is how I did the previous ones. And I'm actually just starting to score it, so it's going to be a little noisy. And like I say, this is the job for a hacksaw. But it seems to work just as good. Just taking out a big chunk of metal, the thickness of the file. It doesn't take very long, especially when you have a beer in between. I always gotta have that beer. And for those of you who don't drink, I apologize. For those of you who do, hoorah! And I'm bending the prong down as I cut through. To keep it from catching. And at one point, I can just snap it off. But I want to go ahead and remove as much material as I possibly can. So I have less to file when I get finished. And naturally, you want to do this on a cooler. You don't really care about damaging. Like I say, rocket science stuff. There's my tent stake. I'll flip this over. That's a sharp edge. And now, using the file for what it was intended, which is to deburr it. That's an aggravating thing, isn't it? Okay, so you get the idea, and I'm going to stop it right here. Okay, final product, well, almost final anyway. On all the prongs, they have this little J-hook here. I'm trying to get where you can see it on the end. And right now I'm leaving that on there because my pinky is helping to stabilize this if I use it as a skillet type of apparatus. It sits on top. I did want to leave a handle on here for quick removal so I didn't burn myself. Now I may later on actually apply a wooden piece here or some type of a thicker grip for better control, but it needs to be lightweight so it doesn't tip over. Right now that's pretty steady, and I can flip it on both sides. This is actually the most stable way to place it on top of the stove. But anyway, at this point right here, this is basically the end of the video. I may actually try to heat that bottle up as a test to see if it ruptures, you know, purifying water inside a beer bottle. So stick around if you want to see the video. I think I'm going to actually do that in a separate video just for the heck of it. So for now, that'll be the end of this one. This is part one of my Hobo Stove creation and whatever else I can come up with in this particular segment. So anyway, thanks for watching and appreciate your time, and I hope that I didn't bore you to hell. Alright, this is Midnight 121, amateur artist Mark D. Chandler, saying thank you.